Welcome back to Leadership and Success Coaching and another one of our live training sessions. You're watching this with your kids, fantastic. Wherever you're watching this from, I know we've got people, Hero, watching this from Japan. I know we've got people from Malaysia, from Korea, from Hong Kong, from lots of different places. Wherever you're watching this from, welcome on to this channel. If you've not subscribed already, obviously, you can subscribe anytime you want. We're going to be doing these live training videos every month, and I've got other videos in between as well. Wherever you're watching this from, if you had dinner or lunch or whatever, I hope you're enjoying your dinner. And if you are traveling on the bus, in the train, walking home, please travel safe. Please be very careful. Don't just look at your phone when you're walking. All right, let's get started. What we want to talk about today is something that is, it sounds really straightforward, but I just want to share some of my experiences over the last, I suppose, 15, 16 years from my own experience and from watching other successful people, whether it's in my own network of successful people that I've met with or from videos, books that I've learned from. Okay, so today we want to talk about this. Now, in between this, I've got some of these slides. I'm going to just flip the camera around because in all the previous live videos, when I try to show you this, the words are reversed. So for the benefit of everybody, every time I show a slide, I'm just going to switch the camera view, if that's okay. And I'm going to talk about the 5 things that define successful people. Hey, Ian, happy birthday yesterday. Sorry I wasn't there to celebrate with you, but I'm sure it was wonderful. Okay, anyway, so the 5 things that define successful people. Hey, Dave. Great. Oh, here are my social media links. If we've not connected, look forward to connecting with you all there. Hey, okay, so you can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, website, and here we go. Point number 1, discipline. Just switch back here. Vincent, hey, how you doing? The first thing that defines successful people is discipline. I want to start off with this because it's so important. Without discipline, you just cannot build anything. You can't build a business. You can't build your career. You can't build your ambition. You can't build on your fitness. You can't build on anything because whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not, the fact is discipline is the foundation, is the base of everything that you want to achieve for your life. What do I mean by that? You see, the thing is, what I've learned over the years is there is something that we all have a comfort zone, right? Everybody's got a comfort zone. So let me explain what's comfort zone. So let's call this comfort zone, right? Comfort zone is something, when you're inside this comfort zone, what that means is inside here is what you are comfortable with, what you are good at. All right. So if you're doing things that you're good at, you're in your comfort zone, you're comfortable. When you do things that you know, when you do things that you are skilled in, that's your comfort zone. But when you step outside your comfort zone, that's when you do things that you're not comfortable with. That's when you do things that you don't know how to do. That's when you do things that you are unfamiliar, or you are engaged in activities that you may never have done before. That's when you are outside of your comfort zone. Hi, Natalie. So what is the natural human instinct? The natural human instinct is to stay within that comfort zone, right? Inside, to do things that they're familiar with, to do what is not so challenging, not so difficult, not embarrassing, and not to step outside their comfort zone. So it's natural human instinct to want to be comfortable, to, hey, Carl, to not be embarrassed. For that reason, there are things that we want to do, and there are things we don't want to do. So what are the things you don't want to do? The things that you don't want to do are the things that you are not good at, are the things that will create embarrassment, pain, or difficulty, and make you feel that sense of failure or risk. Those are the things you don't want to do. But here's the thing. Those are the things that will make you successful. Those are the things that will help you grow. Because if it's not challenging, you won't fail if it's not challenging. You won't be embarrassed if you know how to do it already. The only reason you are embarrassed, the only reason that you might fail, the only reason that you experience pain is you're doing things that you don't know how to do, you've never done before. Therefore, point number one, discipline. It relates to one of the sentences that I say all the time. It's not about doing what you want to do. It's about doing what you have to do, right? So it's not doing what you want to do, it's doing what you have to do. So when you think about it that way, then you look at your life, then you look at your career, then you look at your business, then you look at everything. You look at relationships, fitness, health, money, work, job, planning, children, whatever, right? And then you ask yourself, what is it that I have to do? What is the requirement for me to succeed? What is the requirement for me to get to the next level? What do I have to do to advance to the next stage? It's not about what I feel like doing. It's about what is required for you to get to the next place. So, rule number one for successful people that I've seen, they are disciplined. They force themselves to do things that sometimes they don't feel like they want to do, but they know they have to do. They know for them to get to the next level, they have to accept that pain, that embarrassment, that possibility of failure to move forward. Okay. Point number two. Here's the interesting one. Consistency. Yeah, right? Consistency. This this is where the money kicks in. Consistency is probably what, although I started with discipline because it's one of the foundations, but point number two is consistency because it's one of the hardest things for people that define successful people. People that are successful are consistent. Everything you do in life, it requires consistency for you to achieve a certain level of success. Health, fitness, relationship. Can you just call your girlfriend or boyfriend sometimes and not call them sometimes? No, you can't. Can you spend a little bit of time with your kids and then after that you don't spend a lot of time? No, you can't. Can you play some sports sometimes and then don't play it for a long time and expect to be good at it? No, you can't. For you to be good in at anything, at a sport, in health, in business, in money, finance, it's about consistency. It's about doing something regularly, repeating the same action and the same process again and again and again. Now, here's where it separates the successful people and the not successful people. What do I mean by that? Because the not successful people cannot repeat over and over and over again. Because these are the things they say. Oh, it's boring. Oh, it's repetitive. Oh, I'm doing the same thing again. Oh, it's so hard. Oh, you know, how many people can eat chicken breast every meal? You can't. How many people can eat salad every dinner for the next 6 months? People can't. That's why it's so hard to stay fit. That's why it's so hard to be healthy. How many people can make sure that they go for a run every night after work, regardless of the weather? People can't do that stuff. That's why it's so hard to be fit. That's why it's so hard to be healthy. That's why it's so hard to lose weight. That's why it's so hard to run a business and to make money because it's so hard to be consistently performing at that level, to be passionate, to be ambitious, to be hungry, to be hardworking, to be planning, setting your goals, to be driven, to have a positive attitude, you know, to have that hunger to want to learn after 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, to still retain that energy, that passion. When you were poor, you had ambition, you had hunger, you want to succeed. What about when you had money? Are you still hungry? Are you still ambitious? Do you still want to succeed? What if you are ultra successful now? You have a lot of money, you have houses and cars. Can you still be hungry, ambitious, hardworking, and want to learn. Because if you can, then you will continue to be successful because you continue to exhibit that same level of drive, hunger, action that defined you 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when you first started. The key has always been about consistency. Consistency is what separates the successful people and the not successful people. I've been doing the same thing for 15, 16 years. I've been teaching the same lessons. I've been telling people the same thing. Although it's a different group of people, although it's a slightly different question, it's a slightly different answer, it's a slightly different circumstance. But the fact is, hey there, I've been, doing the same thing over and over again for 15, 16 years. Life is not always, it's not always about doing new things. You know what I mean? Like, think about footballer, right? Think about football. We think football is fun because we do it once in a while. We think that basketball is fun. We think badminton is fun. We think bowling is fun. But for professional footballers, think about what they do every day. Think about their diet. Think about the requirements to be a professional footballer. Some of us play games and we think that it's fun. Of course, when you play at a recreational level, that's fun. But if you're a professional gamer, do you know what it takes to be a professional gamer? Do you know how many hours you'll be required to be on the computer every day for years if you're a professional gamer? It's tough. It's tough to be consistent. And that's why consistency is what really separates the successful people from not successful ones. Okay, point number 3. For you to be successful, you have to have the ability to imagine and communicate the future to the people, right? You must be able to imagine and communicate the future to your people. So let me give you some classic examples, right? Apple, Amazon, Google, uh, Alibaba, right? These companies change the world that we live in. These companies, I intentionally chose these names because, well, for a few reasons. Number one, they're very famous names. Number two, these companies just started in our lifetime. Like, they didn't start 200 years ago, when my father or my grandfather's days. No, these were newly set up companies. Some of these companies are only 10, maybe 15 years old, maybe less. And yet, look at what they've achieved. They've achieved because they show us the future. We as consumers are attracted by these brands because of how they show us what the future could be like, what the technology of the next year, the next 5 years could be like. And it's crazy, the stuff that they show us, which is why we are madly in love with them. And these days, Samsung is coming up, right? Huawei and all these brands, they're like, they're trying to tell us what they're trying to create. Now, if you use that concept and you bring it to you when you build a team, when you run a business, when you're trying to build a future, your ability to see what's going to happen in the next 6 months, in the next 12 months, or where you want the future to be, excuse me, and your ability to communicate. So first, your ability to see where it's going to be, and then second, your ability to explain and tell that story and that people imagine what it will look like in the next 6 to 12 or 24 months. That's going to define the people that can attract talent or the people that cannot attract talent. Because if you can sell the future, the people that are in sync with the future will come and stay and work together and build the future with you. But if you cannot sell the future, or if you cannot communicate it clearly enough, then people will go like, I'm not really sure. That sounds very general. That sounds very vague. I don't know if that's really going to happen. How do I know it's definitely going to happen? So then that's when people leave. That's when they don't join the team, or they don't stay, and they don't join up to build that future together. Okay. Point number 4. Successful people are able to use resources to find and create solutions. Now, this is a very interesting one. I know you have some questions. I'll come to it. I'll explain what I mean. Successful people are able to use resources to find and create solutions. Okay, let me explain what I mean. I hear in my training sessions, in my conversations, whether it's a lunch or dinner with different people that are trying to build business, people that are, aspiring entrepreneurs. I get this question I get this kind of conversation very often, which is, oh, I don't know how to do it, but I've never done it before. Oh, I don't have the money. Oh, I don't have the skills. Oh, I don't have the charisma. Oh, what that means, what that translates to me is I'm I'm limited by my environment, by my circumstance, by my life, by who I am. Is it true? Is it true that you are limited or restricted by your circumstances, by the amount of money you have, by your education, by who you know, by 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 your environment? Is it true? Of course it's true. Of course it's true. It's true that if you don't have money, it's harder. It is true. It's true that if your education is lower than some people, or if you don't have certain skills, hey, Paulo, if you don't have certain skills from certain industries, it's harder. It is true. But that's not how successful people think. That's not how successful people behave. Because successful people think the other way around. We cannot be limited by our environment or circumstances. We cannot be limited by that. We cannot be limited by the fact that I was born in a poor family, or I was born in a place where I don't have access. I can't do this. I don't have the money. I don't have the education. I don't know any rich people. We cannot allow that to limit our success or what we want to achieve or create. So successful people, before they became successful, right? Before they became successful, found resources or found ways to get what they need. Let me give you some examples. Let me give you some examples. I didn't know a lot of things that I know today, but there are ways to do it. How? Now you laugh when I tell you the answer. Simple. Read a book. Read books. Watch videos. There are books and videos. And with the technology we have now on YouTube and all this, there's so many things you can learn. Unlike, maybe 10 years ago when you actually have to go and sign up for a class. For example, you can learn photography, you can learn Photoshop, you can learn how to build a computer from scratch, you can learn how to dismantle electronic equipment and this and that. You can learn stock trading. There's stuff you can learn online for free. So how can you say, I don't know how? It's not you don't know how, it's you don't want to learn how. When I was learning how to do sales, I spent time, watching the best salespeople, how to do sales. I asked them questions. You know, I paid money to attend seminars. I flew to the other side of the world. I flew to Europe using my own money to learn from the best business people around. To create the business that I was creating, I had to travel to learn. So yet around me, when I think back, the last 10, 15 years, there were people around me that had the opportunity to do the same thing. They could use money, they could travel, but they didn't. And they said things like, oh, I don't know the language, or I'm just an Asian. I don't know people over there in Europe. Oh, I don't have the time. I don't have this. I don't have. So it's all just excuses. The thing is, I don't have those things either. I don't have the time. I don't have the money, and I don't know those people either. But to be successful, you would have to break out the comfort zone, and you have to find the solutions. You have to somehow, somewhere, get the help you need, get the people you need, get the things you need, because there is a way to get it. It's whether you want to get it or not. It's whether you are brave enough to ask the question or creative enough to find the people that you need to help you get to where you want. You see what I mean? So it's not impossible. It's just some people are not creative enough, not brave enough, not not willing to put enough effort to get it done. That's all. Okay. And the last one, the last point. Successful people are able to bounce back from failures and disappointments. Okay. Successful people bounce back from failures and disappointments. Um, I suppose that's one of the best points I can give you to close off the training today, because I've learned over the years, that there is no way you won't fail. Here's the interesting thing. You want to be successful, you got to be prepared to fail. You got to be prepared to be embarrassed, to experience pain, discomfort, um, tired. You're going to be tired. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be upset, angry. You're going to have all these feelings. Why? Because, like I said in the first point, it's comfort zone, right? We are trying to expand that comfort zone. We are trying to do more things outside. We are trying to learn a new skill, do something different, meet new people. You're expanding that comfort zone. And when you're expanding that comfort zone, you are entering a territory that you've never entered before. You're doing things you've never done before. Hey there, you are you are experiencing something you've never experienced before, right? And for that reason, you definitely will suffer. You know, to be successful, you have to be willing to suffer. You have to be willing to go through pain. Hey, hi there from Korea. And you have to be prepared to fail. You have to be prepared to be disappointed, to be upset, to be angry. You have to be prepared for that. So, point number 5, it's not about preventing pain. Because in the first few years of my life, of my career, not my life, my career, my business, building my business, I was trying to teach people how to prevent failures. I was like trying to find ways to teach people so that you won't fail. So I was trying to teach you ways so that you won't be experiencing pain or suffering or disappointment. Then I realized after a few years that's not possible. Everybody fails, everybody suffers, everybody goes through disappointment, and many times. And the more successful you want to become, the more pain you will experience, and the more disappointments and the more failures you will experience over a period of time, more and more frequent, bigger. But successful people are able to bounce back from those failures, from those disappointments. Over the last 16 years, have I not failed before? Of course I have. Have I not experienced pain? Of course I have. Have I never thought of giving up? Of course I have. Have I never asked myself the question, is what I'm doing correct? Am I good enough? Is this the right choice? Can I do it? How long is it going to take? Um, how much more how much more effort do I have to put in? All these questions all the time, repeatedly at different moments in my career. But the difference is every time I bounce back, every time I found the answer, and the answer is yes. And the answer is yes, I want to do it. Yes, I can do it. Yes, there's a way to do it. Yes, there's a solution. Yes, I'm going to get better. Yes, I'm going to figure it out. The answer is always yes, 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 yes. And because I was able to bounce back every time, I became more and more successful each time after that. Every time I overcome a challenge, I became better. Every time I overcome a disappointment, I became stronger. Every time I recovered from pain and suffering and and disappointment, I became more powerful. I made more money. That's the truth. So, here's my final tip for you. Learning how to bounce back is like going for a run. Okay? I say this to people all the time. It's like going for a run. If you've not gone for a long, like say a 5 or 10 kilometers run, right? If you've not done that for a long time, if the last time you did a 5 kilometer run was 5 years ago, and you go do one now, You're going to be in pain for a few days, right? You're going to maybe be in pain for maybe 4 days, and you won't feel like going for another 5 kilometer run for at least another 2 weeks. Now, then you go for another 5 kilometer run, but this time you recover a little bit faster. And you will still not feel like going for a run maybe for a week or two. But you go for another run. And then you recover faster. And then you go for another run. And you go for another run. And you go for another run. Now, after a few of these runs, you realize you will recover very, very fast. And you have no problem going for the next run again. It's the same with bouncing back from failures. The first time you fail, the first time that you experience significant pain, embarrassment, frustration, anger, very first time, right? It will take you a long time to recover. Some of you maybe a month, some of you maybe 2 weeks, some of you maybe, I don't know, right? But hear this, you have to recover and then go back and do the same thing again and go back and and embrace the challenge and do something difficult again. Don't be afraid of the pain. Don't be afraid of the failure and disappointment. Because and then you will feel it again. You will feel pain. You will have disappointment, and then bounce back and go again. And then you will feel pain and disappointment, anger, and then bounce back and go again. But when you do that many times, just like with my example with the run, what you will find is you get better and stronger at bouncing back. You get less tired. You still experience pain. Like for example, like me today, when I have disappointments or failures or anger or frustration, I still feel that I'm human. I recover much faster because I just go like, oh, I'm really angry, I'm really frustrated, I mean, this and that. But within an hour, I'll be like, all right, you know what? Let's get on. Let's move on with it. Come on, solution. Let's go. Move. Think. Stop complaining. Stop whining. Let's go. Come on. So, but last time when I was like maybe 10, 15 years ago, maybe it would take me a month to recover. You know what I mean? Before I'd be in the right mental state to go again. But over years and years of practice, I'm so used to experiencing pain and disappointment, anger, frustration. I recover very quickly. So that's my final tip for you. Learn to bounce back again and again and again. It's normal. I want to let you know it's normal. If you're experiencing pain, if you're experiencing disappointment, if you're angry, frustrated, or whatever, that you're not achieving the results that you think you should or you want to, it's normal. That's what successful people experience all the time. Just learn to come back, bounce back, and go again. Bounce back, go again. Okay. Anyways, as always, I try to keep these videos very, very short. So tonight's video, again, it's quite short and straightforward. So I hope all of you are having a great time wherever you're watching this from. Japan, Korea, Indonesia, Hong Kong, Singapore, wherever you're from, Indonesia, Philippines. So I will see you all next time. I'll be releasing another video really, really soon. So keep a lookout for that. In the meantime, have a great night, everyone, and be safe. Take care. Bye. Thanks. Take care, Roy. Bye, Ian. Bye, Ronnie. Hey, Dave. Take care. Bye bye. Lauren, take care. Bye bye. Yola. Bye bye. Henry. Bye. Good night, everyone.